Hey, how's it going? My name's Jay. We're gonna leave some information out right now. I'm from Nevada. Um, I was told that one of the first things I need to tell everybody is that all of the material that I have here on hand at my house, okay, is material that was collected from private land with permission. And I was told by the owners to not only state that it is private land, but to make sure that everybody knows that it's going to continue to be private land. They're not interested in anybody coming and hunting on their land and collecting stuff. They don't want any profit shares or any of that kind of crap. I'm not even allowed to give out their names. So, um, yeah, we'll leave that at that. Having said all that, that's not to say that I can't walk right outside my door and find the stuff pretty much everywhere. Um, I'll explain more about that later. Essentially, what I'm figuring out is that this was an area um, that was basically used to not only like procure tool stone and stone to make points, but it was it was a very highly trafficked, almost like an armory in a sense. There are tools stashed in certain spots. Um, Anyhow, that's I can get into all that later. Basically, first and foremost, okay, a lot of the stuff that I find, I'll find different versions of the same thing all over the place, and I do see stuff with this shape on a much smaller scale, scattered all over the place. This is the only one that I've seen that is this size. Now, if you look, it's it's like a weathering rind that's around it, but you can see the back. It's nice and thick, okay? And it tapers off there, okay? The handle you can see is beautifully fashioned, right? It's really round, right? And then you look here and it's a tapered edge, almost like it would have been a blade. Now I'm wondering, could it be some sort of plow that was connected and then dragged through the dirt for, uh, you know, for uh, farming purposes? Or is it, I mean, the handle is a little small for somebody to want to grab it. Um, and it's more like it's ground here. It's not like it's been chopped at. So it almost reminds me of some sort of plowhead, but it's fairly heavy. And if you listen, you can hear it's like almost like ceramic, but it's certainly gorgeous. All right, so that concludes that. I'm just gonna go through a bunch of this stuff as quickly as I can. I'm gonna try and keep it under. Um, I'm gonna say 15 minutes, but it's more likely gonna go toward 20. So I'm gonna try and go as fast as possible. So we look at this guy here. There's obviously a stem being cut. You can see it being notched out there, and if you give the light a bit of an angle, you can actually see just tool marks all over it. Here's a better view of it. You can, I mean, it's fairly obviously going to be or was going to be some sort of point. A lot of the stuff that I find is unfinished. Um, let's see here. Um, but you know, oh, and I find a lot of broken stuff too. So there's this guy. Now this is basically like, I mean, it's obviously it's started to be um, worked on, but I find a lot of blanks like this, and a lot of blanks more like in a diamond shape. Let's see if I can find one out like that. All right, so this was obviously a spear blank. It's been it's being chipped here. So like this whole area is thinner than the rest of this, and this is the back is all uniform. Okay. When I'm talking about the blanks, like this is kind of like a short diamond. This one's a little bit more elongated. Okay, and you can see they're different thicknesses for different uses. This one would have been basically the same kind of blank, and then you can see it's already being worked into shape. Actually, this one was as well, but not as nicely. Um, then you find, like I said, I find a lot of them that are broken. Uh, this was probably a very beautiful little spearhead, except I don't think it was ever finished. There's no edge on it yet, but this was basically the same kind of blank, and then probably broken half as he was chipping away. Either that, or maybe he hasn't finished yet, and he's gonna bring this. But judging by the width from here to here, there's no way he's gonna match that from there to there without cutting off the stem completely. So I'm assuming that it broke. Okay, so we got this guy out of the way. There's this. Right. I'm thinking this is probably really, really, really old. A lot older than a good portion of the stuff that I see. You can see he's got a little bit of an edge there. Hadn't really edged this off yet. You'll see there's metal shining in it as well. All right, and now this guy is a little bit more of a recent find. Lots of metal shining on this. And you can see how he's been working on it, right? And then look at the back. Look at the tool marks going like pretty much down the length of this side. Let's see if I can get the light to hit the. There we go. So you can see tool markings all across that. And then hasn't really started the edge yet. Here, look, you can see how it's been worked there too. So gorgeous. Okay. This one's probably my favorite out of all the spearheads. Started to have a fairly decent edge on this side, but you can tell he hasn't even gotten up to the point yet. And I don't know what the technique is, but when they sharpen it down at an angle here and then up at an angle here so that the two sides come together and they're really sharp, that's basically the technique that it appears is being used for the production of this piece. I mean, you can just look at it and tell. I mean, that's not just something you find on the ground. And don't get me wrong, I do understand that a lot of these shapes are found in nature quite easily. But I mean, I'm finding, for one, you can look at this and tell that's been worked on. You know what I mean? That didn't just happen. And you can see like just all kinds of tool marks all over the place. But yeah, this is my favorite out of the spearheads. And I have some other large ones too, but we're gonna move on for now. All right, I'm gonna move on to some points real quick. So here's more of the blanks, except these are the more elongated, almost the same size. Here's another one, same shape, about the same size as that one. And then all right, so now these guys basically the same shape and size as this one. All three are different types of material. They're all almost identical in size. And if you look, it's not, it doesn't quite have an edge up here. It's almost got like a hook where he's been working off the outer material here. And as it gets to the top, it kind of hooks. And if you look, this one basically is doing the same thing but going the opposite direction. And you can, this one I know has beautiful tool marks on it if I can get the light to hit them right. Well, anyhow, and then here's the third, same thing up here. Hasn't gotten there yet. You can see all the metal shining in this one. All right, so then that. We already looked at that. So there's this guy. You can see he's got a very, very nice edge going on this side. Look at that. Really, really cool. And then this one here. This one had a decent edge on it. I think this one's been retooled. And let's see. I want you. Alright, so you look at this guy. There's been lots of work going on here. It's a little off-centered, but I'm pretty sure he means to fix it. This one was found in the same site, I suppose you would say. You can see lots of tool markings going on this one. This is also from the same. See, tool marks nice in here, all in there. This is semi finished. It's essentially a blank, but it's already been beveled down. This is also found in the same pile. You see all the metal. All right. And then there's one more from that same pile. So this one's a little bit larger, and immediately you should be able to recognize man-made tool marks on there, and you can see he was getting this down real thin right here. You see the beautiful shape. Okay, and he's already actually got an edge on this side as well. This is the opposite side here. You can see chipped it up pretty nice here. Tool marks all over. You see here. It's basically your stem. Beautiful. All right. Okay, we got these two here. Nice spearhead. This one, I think, is really early. It's obviously not the most impressive point in terms of shape and like skill. You can see the tool markings are there, but they're almost more gouged than the other pieces that look newer. This piece here, super old. So if you look at his shape, nice, and the edges are still fairly sharp here. This one's obviously been used. So I mean, this was a finished piece that was used like this. So this was either undesirable toolstone that they couldn't do anything else with and figured may as well use it, or this guy's pretty old. All right. Shoot. All right, we'll go through this one real fast. Maybe just show you a couple of the more important pieces. This guy, and you can see the angles that I was talking about with the sharpening, how they go toward each other so that one sharpens the other. This is a piece of flint that's edged up on this side really nicely. And stem is in the right spot, so I'm thinking that this is early in new production here. This one, tool marks, just, I mean, tool gouges really. You can see it's going to be a beautiful notch piece, but you can see that was definitely intentionally done. See how it's smooth around. Shame that it broke. There's another smaller point. Here's a piece. This is some really, really dark brown, reddish brown chert. You can see stemmed, shouldered, and it appears that it busted off there. This guy's old as hell. This is definitely not something from I would say not even Mesolithic. I would say that this has to be something Paleo. There's this one on a very nice, like, brecciated piece of I don't know, it looks like a bunch of hornblende in there, but this one here is nice and smoothed, like almost like it was sanded down. Like, instead of flaked, it was ground. This guy. And then this, you got this rock here, and then you look, and it's actually carved it out completely, or at least the overall shape, and then he's chipping away. But I saw this and I was like, no shit, it's absolutely freaking perfect. Okay. Excuse me 1 second, just grabbing a couple of pieces. All right. First, I'm going to show you this one, just in case I run out of time, because we're already at 20 minutes now. So this, it feels like it's clay. If you actually were able to see this well enough, if you've ever taken like wet clay, molding clay, and folded layers to try and make something, you get those places where it folds. That's what this reminds me of. It feels like clay. I mean, this is something that on softer surfaces would be great. You can see it's beautifully shaped. Beautifully shaped. On the ends, nice tapered end here. Almost like the nose of a tiger shark. And then you got a beautifully tapered end here. The exact same shape and everything, just smaller in size. It's really smooth. There's not a whole lot of visible tool marks, but I mean, this is obviously something that was made by hand. I'm sure it's got to be some sort of chipping tool. Another one that I believe is a chipping tool, possibly some sort of knife as well, but very nicely shaped. Another one that I'm pretty sure is a chipping tool, so it almost looks like half a point, but then if you look at it, it kind of swirls right here. So it goes like, starts here and kind of almost like a wave. Flat here, right? It's nice and smooth. It's flat there. And it just sits in your hand so nicely that I have to assume it's some sort of flaking tool, napping tool, whatever you want to call it. This one here, I don't know if this is stemmed for having, a handle to it and using it, or is this, a chipping tool that you would hold in your fingers like this. And I have more of these. Like, this isn't the only one of these. This isn't just something, one little thing that I found. I just have to dig out the others. Kind of like, if you look, I mean, these guys, same size, same shape, same. I mean, everything about them is almost exactly the same, except the tool stone, and I'm pretty sure this one is older. It's definitely made of better material. This right here, you can see the way it's shaped. I'm pretty sure to hold it like that, or it could be for holding like this and then chiseling on it, perhaps, so you didn't bang your thumb. There's this guy. This guy's actually fairly heavy, very strong, and if you look, it's notched out. I don't know if that's for hafting or if that's just to hold it with your thumb. It does feel good in the hand. And it does have a groove here that almost lines up exactly with how my finger is sitting. But we got this one, and you showed a piece like this in the very first video. You can see the shape. So it's almost like a pickaxe, or it's flat here for digging, and then nice and edged here for striking. And then I don't know what this thing is. I'm sure it's some kind of striking tool, but you can see it's very nicely. I mean, and it's smooth, but it's got finger holes like crazy. All right. And then I guess I'm just gonna do this last one real quick. Every piece on here was found today, in less than 3 hours, and this, I mean, this doesn't even touch the surface of not just what I find overall, but of what I found today. This is shaped somewhat similarly to that. So I'm assuming that this is a smaller version of whatever this is. Obviously not as well crafted, probably not as cared for as much either. All right, so there's this guy who's got a beautiful shoulder coming off of there. You can see it's been being worked in here. This guy is not finished. It's got an edge though. Got an edge on this side too, actually. Just needs another shoulder. All right. This guy right here is smooth as hell. Like, I just happened to spot it was just sitting there, but you can tell it's been worked on. I don't know if this is supposed to be a hunting or a weapon kind of point, but it's definitely got a pointed shape. But like I said, it's very, very smooth. There's no sharp edges on it whatsoever. This guy's also pretty smooth. You can see some markings on the side. You can definitely see some markings on this side. See how it's been chipped away there. Nice shape. So there's this one, which I'm pretty sure is one that broke in half right there. Most likely while it was just being chipped. I find a lot of these where they're like perfect on one side, and then you can tell like a third of them chips off, and I can just imagine the dude sitting there. You know, they're all by their campfires or whatever. Everybody's working on their tools. Probably some of them are competing with each other about who's are nicer. And this guy was probably bragging about his, and then tink, and throughout the entire camp, you just hear that. I just imagine that all the time. This one is a weird breccia, but it's obviously been worked on. You can see if you look, he's chipping the hell out of it. There. All right, a couple more, and then I'm gonna end this thing. Okay. So first is this one, and I don't remember what the technique name is, but it starts with an L, and it's where they pop off pieces that are going to be fat here and then thin along the edges, and then they sharpen it from the center out. That's basically what this technique was. And like I said, I know it starts with an L, and if I weren't using my phone to record, I would look it up. So this guy here is another really, really old one. You can see it had a stem there. It's still got a good, decent edge. This side's actually, it's beat up, but it is sharper here. It looks like the stem busted off. Yeah, see, part of the shoulder there. It's probably been retooled, and that's probably what this is. What's going on here? This one was probably going to be, the shoulders are going to be lifted. The stem was probably going to be brought in a little bit, but very, very nice. I love the way some of these feel in the hand, and this is definitely one of those. You can see how it's got an edge going upward all the way around. You can see that I mean, those are worked corners. Then there's this guy. Now, this is maybe the third or fourth one of these that I found where it's got a really, really long straight stem, and then the shoulders almost come straight off at a 90. And this one isn't as finished as some of the others, but it's very, very rudimentary looking. You can actually see lines from where he was chipping. Anyhow, I'm being warned that I'm about to run out of space, and we're at 29:50, so we'll just go ahead and end it here. Please contact me if if you'd like to talk. I would really love to pick your brain, get your opinions on some of this stuff, and uh, I don't know. We can. I'd just like to talk to somebody who knows about this stuff. Um, and yeah. Anyhow, look forward to hearing back from you, and I hope you're having a great week so far. And we'll talk soon.